All right, so we're finally on the last page. So this will just think about any extra expenses you might have, how much you want to save, and then kind of think about all the stuff that you wrote down earlier. And just something to keep in mind with this whole financial literacy notebook that there's obviously going to be a lot of expenses that come up that people don't foresee. This doesn't factor in things like um, being in a marriage or something like that. That's going to change the finances a lot in how things are calculated, adding an extra person in. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of things it doesn't consider, but it gives you a good starting point, I think, for looking at your expenses. So let's start with number 15 on the last page. Um, so how much of your money do you want to save? So let's say if I was aiming to save $500 a month, I'll just write that in. And then you can think about extra stuff. Some of the stuff that hasn't been talked about, there's going to be costs with insurance. If you want to buy like clothing or things for maybe entertainment, going to see shows or movies or things like that, there's going to be some extra costs. So maybe I'll say extra costs. Maybe you'll have $250 of extra costs a month, things that come up. All right, add your answer from steps 15 and 16. And then step 18, figure out how much money you're left with at the end of the month. So I'll go back here. And so for step 14, I had 1,117. And I'll subtract the 750 that I'm saving and spending each month. So that'll leave me with 367 extra dollars to spend each month. So at the end of this, you'll have calculated monthly expenses. So take a moment and just answer these questions. Were you surprised about the amount of money it takes to live each month on your own? Did you have to cut some things out because you did not have money to cover the extra costs? I tried to be pretty frugal, not spend too much money in what I was doing. But if I had spent a lot on a house or something like that, I might have found partway through that I was going to not have enough money, so I might have to go back and redo it. List 3 things that you learned during your budget lesson that will influence your decision-making process. So how do you plan on living when you're out on your own and making your own financial decisions? Yeah, that's it for the Financial Literacy Notebook. So I'll give you a couple weeks to turn this in. And like I said, this is the last new work of the year. So good job this year.